Welcome to the Critics. This is our first episode. My name is Aduni, and my co-host is
Yeah. Welcome
yes.
to the show.
Well, so this is our first episode, and this is a space where ideas are challenged, debated, and welcomed. From policies to power play, we cut through the noise and put political, philosophical opinions under the microscope. No perspective goes unquestioned, no echo chambers, no blind spot, just honest, critical conversations. And to our audience, if you guys have any interesting opinions, please share it. And if we find it so interesting, we would like to have you on our show. It really doesn't even have to be what we think. It could be a different total opinion, just something interesting. We would love to have you. Um, so we're going to talk about what a fact is, what an opinion is, what democracy is, who is Charlie Kirk, and how these three things interface. So per Google definition, okay, a fact is a thing that is known or proved to be true, right? An opinion is a view or a judgment formed about something not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. Um, we all know in democracy, well, is freedom, basically. We all have heard about Charlie Kirk and the incident that happened. Um, So, just a little background about who Charlie Kirk is for those that don't know. He founded Turning Point USA in 2012. Um, he rose as a conservative youth voice on campuses. He has millions of followers, known for stances on capitalism, free speech, culture wars. He defends capitalism and free market, opposed to woke culture and DEI initiatives. On September 10, 2025, this year, he was shot at Utah Valley University while, giving a speech. Um, this has sparked a lot of political debates on what is freedom of speech, what is violence in politics, public safety. So we're here to talk about that today because this was a very controversial topic on social media. Some people thought like, oh, that was okay to as to what happened to him. Some people felt like, oh, the right wing are being attacked. So we're here to dissect that today. I hope you come with us and enjoy. Do you have anything
Yes,
to say? You
yes,
want to
yes,
start it?
yes. I guess you've introduced it as, it's packed a lot of debate between, what's right, what's democracy, what's
Mm-hmm.
fact. And I think that's a line that Charlie actually blurred really well. There are times that when he spoke, um, people would take his opinion as facts. People will, know, maybe take his facts as opinion. And that's why we're bringing the conversation to the fore. From your standpoint, Edna, what do you think? Do you think it was a person that was more factual than being opinionated? Do you think his opinion actually warrants his death? Like, that's the conversation we want to
You know
have.
what's so funny about Charlie Lee? I never really knew who he was. I never really knew who he was to what happened to him. Like, but you knew who he was. You're like, oh, he's this, he says this, he says that. And when he died, I started, sometimes like you start actually running into the person's videos. Yes, he has very strong political opinions that might not, you know, go well with a lot of liberals, in today's world. And it's some like his opinions are also fact based. Like he doesn't just pull them out of his, out of his head. Like they're actually things that are factual. And I feel like that's what pisses off a lot of people because sometimes you can't argue facts. And even if his opinions were very controversial, yeah, not even if his opinions were very controversial, they were very triggering, you know, their opinions. And I know, like, yes, opinions are how conversation starts and how things go into laws and how things become a reality 100%. But I was talking to my friend the other day. I told her like people to understand that an opinion is not fact, right? And you don't have to agree with it, but you have to agree that they have it. That's it. You don't have to agree with what someone else says. You could say your own too, but the only thing you have to agree is that they could have it, and they have it because they're thinking just like you're thinking. The fact that you're even thinking, is this opinion right, is an opinion that you have too. So I really feel like it's crazy how people celebrated, or should I say we're happy about how this man was taken out because he was assassinated in front of everybody. And I don't want to, my people were happy about it. And I was just like, why are you guys happy about it? Not, I don't care about what Charlie says. Like, I really don't care. It's just the fact that he has the right to say these things. And if you guys are so triggered by the things he's saying, go and say your own too. He has the balls to stand in today's generation where like everyone wants to act like, oh, I don't want to offend anybody, I want to be liberal, and he's saying something opposite of that. That's some balls. If you don't like him, you could start your own stuff too. Talk is cheap, right? Like we say it, talk is cheap, talk is free. So why are you guys so happy about what happened to him? And one of my friends was like, her parents her parents fled from Eritrea because of stuff like this. Like you don't have the freedom to say things like you want to say, like you get assassinated, and it's like Americans don't even know the value of what they have, and the fact that they think this is a joke that someone is getting killed because of what they're saying. It's like, do you know how much people that don't really have this stuff cherish it? Because freedom of speech is just like, I don't even think it's something like we should even write in a book. It's something that's just natural to human beings. Like we're gonna think our own way, we're gonna have our opinions, and that's just that. It's not even a right. It's just a human being thing. It's just like waking up and breathing. Like you're thinking, you're gonna have an opinion, and that's the sad. You
Mhm,
wanna
mhm.
go ahead? Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
mean, I agree with I feel like with the death of Charlie, it has actually highlighted the polarism that we have going on in our world today politically. If as people we want to be honest, we know that opinions and facts actually shape politics. The laws were once an opinion that were discussed, and was decided amongst people that that's what they want, and that's what we have now as constitution. And sometimes that fear is what actually breeds the violence. We're in a democratic system, so we are subconsciously aware that not everyone's going to agree with our opinion, but the fear that their voice, if it's so loud, can actually affect political change, I think is the problem that we are having. I think and that's the contention in politics, especially in democracy. Democracy. I'm sorry. In democracy, the contention between whose voice is going to be loudest and
Mm,
whose voice is going to be heard. As
mm,
in the introduction, we said this is a guy that has managed to gather millions
mm,
of
mm,
followers. So people with this his opinion has become a threat to whoever is not agreeing to him and saying this guy actually is not just it's not just his
mm,
opinion anymore. It into institutionalize
mhm,
his opinion, and that institution would give him power or would give that sort of perspective power, and it could be a
mm.
reality tomorrow. Um, and I think that's the problem. And I think the death of Charlie actually highlights the flaws of democracy, in that it's a constant
You said the
struggle
flaws
between,
of democracy.
yeah, I would say
Okay.
the flaws of democracy,
Okay.
and whatever acts of violence that we're seeing right now, now
Mm-hmm.
is actually and is part of the flaws of democracy, because I feel like if you're getting a lot of more power than I am, and you're going to affect change that could affect me, even though it's your opinion, even though it's your whatever, but it's going to affect me, I have to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying
Yeah,
that's where we're
like
at.
that's what I was saying. Like with democracy, it's a win or lose game. Like only one thing could win. Like
Mhm.
when we go to vote, you can't have two presidents, you can't have two governors, you can't have two. No, it's one, and that's it. And that whatever that one is, whatever they come with, is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
The way I view democracy
Hmm.
is 60%, in America, maybe 55%,
Hmm.
55%, gets what they want, and 45% have to just deal with it. And if you're always part of the 45 every election cycle, well,
Hey, if what if you're like us that don't,
so the illusion that democracy is for everyone I find I find funny.
like what? So when you bring democracy, I really like that because I didn't start looking at this comments from people my age. I'm like, okay, you guys are talking about democracy, but someone got shot because they're actually being democratic. Like, yeah, die. Like, good that you actually shot got shot. I'm like, this is like
It's the
this
hypocrisy.
like
It's the
there's
hypocrisy
something not
of
adding up here. Yeah, it's not adding up. Like it's not adding up. Like the fact that you actually don't agree with this person too, they could actually kill you for that. Like I don't think you understand what's
I
going
think
on here.
it's
The
the
fact that
I
you
think
don't agree with somebody to the point where like you feel like they should be shut off, to me is this extreme. Like we should
uh,
shut you off because at this point, like, are you crazy? And I really just think like it just really highlighted that democracy is what's the word? Is a lie
you
in a
know,
lot of people's minds. Without them even realizing, they don't really believe in democracy. They only believe in democracy when it's there, them
yep.
doing it. The moment it's somebody else,
I
you
think I
can't
think
have that. And
hypocrisy.
it's like to me, it's
I
like
think
that's the flaw of democracy. You must be able to tolerate another person's way of doing something. If you can't do that, you're not democratic. And that's it. Like just take that. Don't say, "Oh, I'm democratic only." No, you're not. You're not. That's not what how it
well
works.
well
It
I
really
I
does,
would I would
that's
not blame them for being hypocrites, because again, the system of democracy itself is hypocritical.
mm,
When they define democracy, they tell you it's the government of the people, by the people, whatever. It's a system that everyone's going to be involved in, but not
mm,
everyone is involved in.
mm.
And it's not going to favor everybody. It's going to only favor 55%
I don't
of
even
the
think it
people.
favors 55.
No, I mean, I'm saying, how many? You need 51% of the vote to win.
Mm. Okay, I see what you're
That's
saying.
so.
That's what you're saying.
That's just it. It's
Mhm.
going to just favor 51%. The remaining
Mm,
49 deal with it. And so there's an
mm,
illusion of inclusivity in democracy, and that's not the
mm,
reality of it. So if you are participating in
mm,
this system, you also are participating in this
mm,
illusion, in this hypocrisy
mm.
that you're for everything, but you're not for everything. You're for
Right.
what favors you.
There
And
you go.
that's why we go to the ballot every time to cast a vote for whatever favors us, and we're
Wins.
open that
Right.
what favor us
Exactly.
echoes
So why
more.
are you mad when
Right.
it don't?
So
Like, like that's the point. If you don't want to play this game, don't play it at all. It's one of those. Like, if you want to play this game, you got to understand what you're doing. If you don't want to play it, then don't play it at all. You can't say you're playing it, but you're not playing it. It's really not making sense to me. It's like, do you know what you're doing? Just about how why the world is so like the way it is because of like we talk about, oh, there's so much wars. Like, why can't we all just get along? You know why we can't get along? Because people don't understand and respect other people's way of thinking. It's that simple. Like at the end of the day, it boils down to that. it just boils down to that. And when I actually read those comments, I was just like, yeah, the world is not gonna change. It's just not, because someone, if this guy was a liberal or someone that says things that you guys like, these people commenting, you would be saying, "Oh my God, this is a threat to democracy. This is that. It's because he's this. It's because he's that. They're taking our people." You know what I'm saying? But the minute it's not your what you like, it's okay. What I tell people, like, for the
I
group
think
could do that to him. It's a matter of time before it gets
uh,
to you too.
I
You need
think
to
the
think like that.
problem I think the problem with all of this, I mean, goes back to the fact that we have uneducated people participating
Um,
in educated in education in educational stuff. So they lack the knowledge. Hence why sometimes someone coming out to say fact is blurred as an opinion. Hence why an opinion is also as blurred as a fact.
mhm,
And all of this affects democracy. And what this does, it strips us of our humanity.
mm.
You can't be involved in this system and be think in a human way. You
It's-
can't. You can't think of it like that. You're not just allowed to. And we're surprised as to how we are finding all of this wars all around it, because you're participating in a system that everything about that system is against humanity. Capitalism, I mean, that's not the topic of today, but you can't talk about democracy and not talk about capitalism, and all of this together is anti-humanity, if it's nice to
like you
say.
said, and like you
And
said,
so, again, like I'm saying, you can't expect people participating in this game to have humanity in them. When you can't just do that. You
I
can't,
like what you said.
you're
Sorry,
asking for something they don't have.
I like when you said. But I just wanted to correct something. I know what you meant, but I just want to just like expand on it. And when we say educated, doesn't mean you didn't go to school. Because I was talking to my friend, and she was saying like some people, doctors, when actually the news broke out, she was with them, and their comments was very so pointing to her like, yo, she was like, yo, her daughter, these are people that save people's lives. And the way they're like kind of like, yay, this happened. She was just like, are we supposed to be like doctors here and be more open-minded and understand like this is still wrong? He has the opinion, he has the right to do that. Like, and I was telling her, like, just because you went to school doesn't mean that you actually understand some philosophies, and politics is a like it's comes out of philosophy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
out of philosophy. Like philosophy was here first before politics ever started.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to tell her that, and like that's why you can't just say, oh yeah, this person has a PhD, so yeah, their opinions are valid. And even we do that a lot on social media, where like we ask famous people or people that like what's their credibility for their opinion to like be so like valid.
I feel like when I think about education, I'm not thinking about education as in someone's educated just because they went to a school, or they're within the forefront of the school. I don't think that's education. I think that's indoctrination. And that's another topic for another
Another
day.
thing,
Because when we talk
that's
about people,
racism.
we're talking about people going to school and all of
Mhm.
that, they're indoctrinating you into the system, so the system's wheel can keep spinning. Your worker. That's what they're training you to be.
And do
Um,
you notice? Wait, sorry. Do you notice that
so
people
again,
from my
yeah,
generation think a certain way? And I was just like, it's the way we were taught in school. Like there was this time in like I remember maybe seventh grade, like the theme was like niceness. And like you could tell our generation is more nice, like or more nice to people. But I'm just saying, like this liberal
I
thing really
doubt that.
started right. This liberal thing really started during this Gen Z like era. And that's why we're more like it's something that you have to free yourself from. Like you have to know the balance. Like yes, I've learned this thing, but there's some things I have to actually unlearn about this thing that doesn't suit me or doesn't even make sense, or it's just like it shouldn't just be a one-way thing. There's some things that I'm liberal about that I don't agree. And like let me just put this out here. There's a lot of things with Charlie that Charlie said that I don't agree. Like I said, I don't even know the man, you know. And even after watching some of his videos and some things, I'm like, okay, that's your opinion, and I don't know where you got that from, you know. But at the end of the day, that's all it is,
I will
you know.
say that,
And we have, let me say something, we have other people, other liberals that are out here talking too. We have that. And
when we say
not
when we,
just
and I want to go back to the topic of education, and I'm saying
go
that
ahead.
when we talk about education, and you're coming and saying you're educated because you're a doctor of science or indoctrinated to. You've been indoctrinated into the ministry of that to be a worker in
The
that.
Ministry of
No,
that.
no, 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 no. Whatever it is, you've been
Hmm.
indoctrinated into that industry. You
Hmm.
think like an accountant because
Hmm.
that's what you've chosen to do.
Hmm.
Education, in my mind, is the ability for after all that you've learned, your ability to introspect, take all of that information,
You're
find your
quoting
own
Einstein.
perspective.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Take that all into perspective and begin to build a world of your own. Live by your rules, determine your policy, determine your
Right,
perspective.
right. I
That's
feel
what
like
that's what I
sometimes
mean
people
by
are mad when they see people that have are not, they're not into like this or that, and they make their
right,
own
right.
rules, and
And I
they
think that
don't have a
and
problem coming out to tell you I don't care, I
and
don't
I
like
think
this.
and I think that's the beauty of humanity. I think that's the beauty of humanity, the ability for you to observe your world and come to your conclusion and view your world in your perspective whilst still respecting the orderliness of the society. I think that's the beauty of humanity. I try not to be so I try not to identify with any institution or any trade of thought because I think I'm my person.
And I feel like
I never agree with anyone 100%. I
one
don't
hundred
expect anyone
percent, right? I
to
mean,
agree
I'll
with me
listen and take a
100%.
little.
But again, that's what we can take this on some other time. But that's what I meant by education.
Mhm.
And I think that, we have a lot of people going to schools now but are less educated. And that's because, again, education, in the sense as we have it right now, strips people of that attribute and actually preaches indoctrination. But again, I think this all what we're saying so far wraps. I could wrap it up in a sentence to say the fact that we have uneducated people participating in a system that they do not know. When I talk about uneducated, I'm saying they lack the knowledge that they need
Like
to
when you understand, when
understand.
you're talking about like, are you like I don't want to use the word critical thinker.
They're not
It's not
vast
even critical
in the game
thinker.
they're
Are
playing.
you an independent thinker? Not even the word critical. Do you think for yourself? Like, do you?
Right.
And I feel like people need to get out of their emotions when we're talking about politics. No one cares about how you feel. You know, like I heard some of the things this guy said. Like I didn't even take it offensive. I just see it as he's looking at it from one lens, and I kind of see that lens. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go into what he's saying because that's not the point. But I see how if you're not a independent thinker and you're an emotional person, I can see why you could hate the guy.
Again, they're participating in a conversation in a system that they are ill equipped to participate in.
Mm,
And they're coming into this conversation with an illusion of democracy. So they're going to be hypocritical. And
very.
all of that makes strips them of humanity. So we're expecting people to be sympathetic or empathetic towards whatever has happened, to understand that the basis of democracy is actually entertaining different ideas and one of the ideas win and all of that. But again, they're coming into this without all of this understanding. They're coming into this with an illusion and a lot of emotions. That's all what it is. And what the politicians have decided to do is weaponize that. I
Mhm,
mean, why not weaponize the ignorance of the people to your benefit?
mhm.
Um, not saying I support it, but again, that's
And
the
you know,
game.
just to so they said like he said certain things about black. Someone even came up to me and say, "Oh, he said certain things about black women." I said, "We black people say certain things. We call white women a certain name too on social media. We laugh about it because but you know why white people don't care about what y'all talk about them or what name you call them. You know why? because at the end of the day, they understand that politics is not about emotion. It's not about name calling. It's about what's it's about power. You could call them whatever you want to call them. Their men are sitting in that place of power, making policies that supports them, policies that supports their race, policies that supports their culture. So they don't care what you call them. You know why you guys care what they call you? It's not because you really care. It's because at the end of the day, you don't even have the power. We Black people, we have to
I
say,
beg to differ. I beg to differ because when we talk about politicians and we say, oh, they do politics that benefit them, that
mm-hmm,
there's an illusion again here
mm-hmm.
that politicians are actually for their people. They're not. They're for themselves. It just happens so that their people tend to benefit from. It's not.
Right.
It's
But
not
I'm not
for the
saying that they're
people.
not for themselves, but I'm saying whatever they're doing, it does help them more. Okay, yeah, 100%. If we Black people want to get to a point where we stop caring about, oh, they call me this, they call me that, we need to get to a point where we're also putting ourselves in that, creating our own thing to benefit ourselves. Until then, we'll be picking on, oh, they called me this, they called me that. Like, why do you care? I really
I like how this conversation is going, and I think that this just should let the audience know that we have a lot of opinions, and we're going to touch on several topics. Because again, as you see, we're touching on several topics as we speak, but we're not elaborating on them. And I think that's why you should look forward to upcoming episodes that we're going to go deeper. This is a teaser. This is a run, a
icebreaker.
test. We're just we're just whetting your appetite. Because again, Edna has a lot of opinions. I have my opinions, and we're open that you guys are also willing to join the conversation and share your opinions as well. We're not again. There's a difference between opinion and facts. We're not saying what we're saying is factual. We're saying come here, share your opinions. We want to hear what we're thinking. We want you to hear what we're thinking. And we want to hear what you're thinking, Edna.
Thank you for watching. Stay with us. This is our first episode. We have so much to unpack. As you could tell, this is just a genuine conversation. We're just, one topic is opening another topic like an onion. We're so happy to start this, and we hope that you stick with us, share your opinions. Um, Watch out for the next episode. Bye
And
bye.
just so you know, the next episode is going to be a continuation of this topic. I know there are lots of unanswered questions right now, but we
Mhm.
want the conversations to build up. So
Right.
we just briefly touched upon all of the several topics within this one. We're going to really go into a deep dive of what's really is democracy and how does capitalism, interface with democracy. How does education interface with capitalism and democracy? So that's the train of topics we're going to be touching on in this podcast. But again, we are so thankful for you guys joining in. We look forward to sharing more conversations with you. Thank you. Have a great one. Bye.